No gold is not in her. She's a diamond.
Welcome to another exciting edition of $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy, and I got it. I'm holding in my hand right over here the email from eBay that so many different people got. I had 2 Little Black Sambo items taken down because I have listed racial items, which they do not permit on their platform. eBay doesn't allow items that promote or glorify violence, are hateful or offensive. These types of items may not be listed if the item does not have historical, social, or educational merit. Please do not relist and block this item in your listing feed. So basically, the Real Storybook from 1944 and the Jolly Jump Up's Favorite Nursery Stories from 1942, which, among other stories, happen to feature Little Black Sambo. Now, to be fair, I did note Little Black Sambo in my title. Do not have educational merit or social merit. Now, they apologize. They are currently unable to make outbound calls for policy-related concerns. I guess when their employees work at home using company phones, they don't get a dial tone. I'm really not certain what's going on there. Sounds like they just don't want to deal with it. To be fair, I did not contact eBay as I don't see the point. I've contacted eBay on various things before, and more often than not, you end up frustrated. The real downside of it, beyond the fact that I've got 2 items I cannot sell, is that I received a policy violation. Policy violations have been issued in accordance with our consequence guidelines. Multiple policy violations can result in account restrictions that also hide your listings and search results. So basically, on a whim, Sunday night, eBay decided that a couple of items that I had listed for months were all of a sudden not allowed on their site. And I'm certainly not the only person I've had this happen to him. I know the auction professor did a video as well about it, and I know he was very, very angry in his video. And I wouldn't say I'm pleased by any means. And the main reason for my discontent, well, there are 2. Number one, the very fact that it seems so capricious. It's find the list one day, and then the next day it's not find the list. But also that I took the liberty of doing a search, and did a search on Little Black Sambo, and there are 126 of them up. So apparently the 2 that I had that were part of larger books are somehow without educational merit. The 126 other Little Black Sambos, many of which are just standalone stories of Little Black Sambo, do have educational merit. Little insane if you ask me. To be proactive, especially because I don't want to risk policy violations, it's not worth doing so, I went and did a search on my items, and anything that had Black Americana in it, I took out. I stopped the listings, ended them. Basically, I had 4 or 5 sheet musics, I had 1 postcard lot, and I had 1 stereo view lot. I just ended them all. I did save them in the inventory, so when or if any kind of clarification comes through, I haven't completely lost the listings. They are hiding in my inventory should I ever need them again. Felt it best to be proactive. That being said, I did take the liberty of also doing searches on that, and I found 440 sheet music pieces that included Black Americana in its title, 9,683 postcards, 311 stereo views, and although I don't list them, I know the auction professor had a number of trade cards. There were 840 trade cards up that have Black Americana in them, which generally means it's got some sort of an African American image on it. Often crude, often from back in the day in the 1800s when things were much different, or early 1900s. So basically, doing a little quick math in my head, that's almost 11,000 potentially offensive items that are on there. Yet the 2 of mine are worse than any of those 11,000, which I find very, very unlikely. And that, I think, as much of anything else, is what upsets a lot of the bigger sellers. Is that a lot of times it seems as though we have a bullseye on our back. My 2 are ended. I've got policy violations. 126 others are allowed to go. If you call eBay, the answer that you inevitably will get will be, well, we can't find them all. Don't list them. We can't find them all. To which my answer to them is, I'm a schlub sitting in my living room and I found 126 of them. How difficult can it possibly be for a billion-dollar corporation with tons of computing power to find them? If one schlub can find 11,000 potential violations, why can't they? They, of course, cannot give you an answer to that. They will not give you an answer to that. They basically just tell you, don't relist yours. That's about all the answers that you get. And as much of anything else, that's one of the chief complaints about eBay that I've had and many, many other people have had for many, many years is things are not standard. It always seems like somebody else is getting away with something. Sometimes it's the really, really big sellers that seem to be. I ran across somebody the couple of weeks ago that was at 98.3% feedback. I mean, they had, and I forget what it was something like 3,200 negatives in the last year. But they also had an insane number of positives. And so obviously they're a cash cow for eBay, so eBay lets them sit there. Even though if you or I had 98.3%, we would be kicked off. Doesn't quite seem fair to me. And then the other side of things is it's the real small sellers. They can get away with a lot of things because they list it, and if it does get kicked off, that's their only listing, so they just start up another account or use their wife's name or something rather like that to start another listing or another account to get things like that around. I'm kind of a sitting duck. Mr. Magazine's a sitting duck. Auction Professor's a sitting duck. We're just kind of all here. Not big enough to really have eBay care about us, but not small enough that we can take our ball and go home if we need to. So it's really unfortunate the way that happens. Now I did want to be proactive, so I did take down the Black Americana listings. I don't know if you've ever tried to do anything on the app, but it's terrible. I had logged off when I did get the notice, so I decided, well, I've got the phone right over here, let me go into the app. I tried the app and I tried the website on the phone, and neither one of them worked. I wasn't able to get into my eBay on the website on the phone. I was able to get into it in the middle of the app, but the problem was I've got 15,000 items listed. Now I do cross-list across the other, eBay England, eBay France, eBay Germany, etc., so that counts as a listing within my active listings. So I've got something or other like 125,000 listings according to eBay that way. And the problem is, multiple times trying, it just kind of freezes up and then eventually says they cannot show the listings at this time. If you want me to be able to solve the problem, you need to be able to provide me with the opportunity to do so. It's difficult for me to make changes if I can't use your app. What if I were traveling at this time? I wouldn't be able to do so. So fix your app so that people can use it. That might be a good idea. One other quick story talking about how eBay is kind of goofy. Mr. Magazine had a situation where Lego pulled viral rights on one of his items, and it was a legitimate item that he had. It was from a real company, etc., etc. When he called eBay, eBay said, well, Lego needs to be allowed, or they have to authorize you to have this thing listed. And he said, what about the other, thousands of items that are listed on there of the same type? And eBay basically said, well, we don't care about those. Yours was pulled by Lego for whatever reason. You have to have Lego allow you to list it. Pretty sure that if he called Lego, he wouldn't be able to get through to anybody. But that's kind of insane. All anybody's asking is a level playing field. If I'm not allowed to list an item because Lego doesn't want me to list it, they shouldn't let anyone list it. If I can't list the little black sample, no one should be able to list it. Literally my listing read, the real storybook, Margaret Evans Price, 1944 little black sample. Nothing offensive, nothing terrible in what I said. I simply stated the facts there. And that's what a lot of other people do as well, but 126 of them got through. So hopefully we get some clarity, hopefully we get some sanity. Hopefully eBay either shuts everybody's listings down or will allow me to list something or other like that, because it seems patently unfair that I'm losing the sales and Auction Professor and anyone else who's affected is losing sales when other people can continue to merrily sell the same exact items. So who knows? Who knows how it's going to go? Thank you.